She married a stranger, then found out he was a river god. A dense forest sways under the silver glow of a full moon. The distant sound of drumming echoes through the night as fireflies dance over the river. A young woman, Adan, dressed in a deep indigo wrapper, kneels before the water, whispering a plea to the spirits. The elders always warn never to make wishes by the river at night. It was said that the spirit of the water could hear your deepest desires and grant them in ways you never imagined. But Adan, lost in her own sorrow, did not heed the warning. Her heart ached for love, for companionship, for escape from the life that had bound her to the will of her overbearing uncle. So, as the moon cast a silver path across the river, she whispered, "Send me a husband, one who will love me, cherish me, and take me far from here." That night, the river answered. Body Adan awoke the next morning to an unfamiliar stillness. The village was always alive with the sounds of morning preparations, roosters crowing, women pounding yam, and children laughing. But this morning felt different. Stepping outside her small hut, she saw him. A man, tall and regal, his skin dark as the night sky, his eyes a shade of green she had never seen before. He stood at the edge of the village, clad in white robes that shimmered as if woven from water itself. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "I am Obina," he said with a smile that sent a shiver down her spine. "And I have come for you." The village elder, Baba Ikena, stepped forward. He had seen many things in his time, but there was something about this man that unsettled him. "Where do you come from, stranger?" "From across the waters," Obina replied, never taking his eyes off Adan. The elder frowned. "And what is your purpose here?" "I have come to take my bride." A gasp rippled through the gathered villagers. Adan's uncle, who had always planned to marry her off to the highest bidder, stepped forward angrily. "Who gave you permission to take her?" Obina turned his gaze on him, and for a moment, it seemed as though the air itself grew heavy. "She called for me." The river heard. "And so I have come." A cold wind blew through the village, rattling the palm trees. The people whispered among themselves. The river spirits were powerful, and if one had answered her call, who were they to stand in the way? Adam felt an invisible pull towards Obina, as though an unseen thread bound them together. She did not understand it, but something deep within her told her that this was her fate. Conclusion: her uncle, eyes dark with greed, saw an opportunity. "If you want her, you must pay the bride price." Obina nodded. "Name your price." The uncle smirked. 100 bags of cowries, 10 fat goats, and a piece of land. The villagers murmured, such a price was impossible, even for a wealthy man. But Obina merely smiled. "It shall be done." That night, as the village slept, the river surged. When the sun rose, the bride price was waiting at the uncle's doorstep. And just like that, Adan was married to the stranger from the river.